For the landowner, I don't think you could beat that. Because we wouldn't be having a conversation of whether or not you'd want to use it on that. Is this 50cc Pro Saw all that you need to manage your property? Let's find out. You're watching the Okie Woodsman channel, and my name is Joe. Recently, I've been cutting some dead standing pines out because they're a hazard, and I want to try to utilize them for their wood, for firewood, before they're mush. This tree died some time ago. It's actually one of the older trees. And I thought I was originally going to have to climb this to remove it because I had a fence here, posts, and all of that. I didn't want to crush all of it, but I've since removed every bit of it. So now I have a clear path to fall this tree, especially since I removed a tree there and a tree there. I should be able to go straight through here with it. Speaking of trees, this stump right here is the remainder of what was cut with my son's Husky 440. That's an affordable average chainsaw, and it did the job well. I was able to fall the tree, buck it all up into firewood, and take care of the job. If you have a lot of cutting to do, the saw will do it, but you're not going to do it quickly. And recently, I shot a video asking if this 550 XP could replace my 562 and 545, which is basically a little bit less powerful version of the same saw. If this sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let me know you're here. Let me know some of your favorite saws, and don't be shy what your thoughts are down below. Let's get this saw started up. I'll move my tractor and get started. I really believe the 545 and the 550 are the best value for performance, size, and capability on any professional chainsaw. This is a cold start. That's what they sound like on fast idle. I let them get started like that, and now I'm going to blip the throttle. I hope that you noticed that the idle speed came down, but while it was in fast idle, the chain was not wanting to run away. I think that that's a superior design on these 5 Series Huskies. I have no one to blame other than myself on that one. I also could have corrected it had I just come up on my stump a little bit more and made a new hinge. I had seen what I did immediately, but while I was bore cutting and cutting across my face, I essentially cut off my hinge. That's all that's left of it right there. And that pulled the tree to the left, not where I wanted it. I've been talking a lot about trying to increase my skills. I have a lot to work on. When I felt all the timber on this property, I would say that I didn't do this bad on any of them, even early on, And that's because I was basically doing a face cut and a back cut or a bore cut and not trying to walk around it. I'm trying that on these little trees because I just want to be able to do it. But I would have had much better results had I just bored across the face and just cut out the back of the tree. Everything would have been all right. Anyway, the tree's down and I'm not an expert, but this tree looks like it's mush. I'll try to cut a log out of this and see what it's like down there somewhere. Darn shame I didn't get to this tree early enough and it's just eaten up. It's a whole ecosystem in here. Videos don't always turn out the way you want them to. From this direction that way, I think I'll use the 550 XP to buck it up into firewood and use it in our outdoor smokeless fire pit from Wolf Ridge. Do you guys have a problem just burning up stuff for no reason too? The log is actually fairly solid down here. A little bit of fun while we're at it. Surprisingly, the log is super solid down near the butt, so I'm gonna save this for some test cuts. Let's take a few more ends off and see if we can get to solid wood. That was sure easy. Talk about an easy job for that 550 XP. Do I need any other chainsaw on this property other than this? The answer is absolutely not. If I only had one chainsaw, that saw could probably do everything I need to on the property. I wouldn't necessarily want to do this white oak here, especially if you were cutting it into firewood. It'll do it, there's no problem. It just depends on how much time you want to take with it. I'll stand beside it here so you can kind of get a proportion. This is the kind of wood that if you're cutting a lot, you definitely want a larger saw. But if you just have it periodically, cleaning up storm damage or anything like that, the 550 would work sufficiently well. If you wanted the most affordable pro saw possible to get the job done that can do everything, it could definitely do this tree. In about an hour and a half, the 550 in combination with my tractor and grapple got this job buttoned up. I have some firewood rounds laying around. These are not things that I'm going to sell because they are far too punky. I wish I could have got to that tree a little quicker. You can see these rounds are in great shape in comparison. This came from a tree that died more recently. Could I have done that entire job with the homeowner style saw? The answer is absolutely yes. It just wouldn't have been as quick, efficient, and fun. We've been talking a lot about that 550 because that's a new saw to me, but in terms of budget, I really think that the 590 Timberwolf would be the best single saw for someone on a budget. For the landowner, I don't think you could beat that Echo because we wouldn't be having a conversation of whether or not you'd want to use it on that. It'll 100% do it for less money and have more capacity. You could throw a 24-inch 3/8 chain on there, or in a pinch, even a 28-inch, they call it 27. This is a different style class.